Someone's been watching your every move, not with judgment, but with awe, because your silence speaks louder than most people's confessions. They can't explain it, but every time you walk away, their heart forgets how to beat right. You've hypnotized them without trying. Someone is watching you live your truth, and it's making them question every lie they ever told themselves. They've seen your pain, your calm, your chaos, and they still can't look away. That's the kind of spell you cast. You don't realize it, but your presence is haunting someone's peace. They pretend not to care, but they notice everything. Someone's watching you unfold like dawn after a long night, realizing too late they were the darkness holding you back. They're speechless because you became everything they said you couldn't be, graceful even after the storm tried to drown you. Someone's watching you move on, watching your glow return, and it's breaking the parts of them they never healed. They used to know your rhythm, now they're studying your silence, and it terrifies them more than your words ever did. Someone's watching you laugh again, and it's killing them quietly. They never imagined you'd survive without them. They see your strength now, the calm confidence that replaced your cries. It's beauty mixed with vengeance, and it leaves them breathless. Someone's watching the way you walk now, lighter, freer, like you've finally forgiven the past that once chained you. They used to think they owned your emotions. Now they're realizing you were a storm they never understood. Someone's eyes follow you, searching for guilt or regret, but all they find is peace, and that peace terrifies them. They're silent because words can't undo the way you outgrew their version of you. Someone's watching you live like you never needed their validation, and it's shaking their sense of control. You've become their quiet obsession. Every step you take echoes in their guilt. They want to speak, to apologize, to reach out, but your new energy keeps their voice trapped in shame. Someone's watching you glow, realizing too late that they dimmed your light for too long. They can't stop watching you because you turned your pain into art, and that art reminds them of their mistakes. Someone's eyes have memorized your every move, yet they'll never have the courage to say what your silence makes them feel. They once wanted your attention. Now they just crave your forgiveness from afar. Someone's watching the love they threw away bloom inside you again, and it's not theirs anymore. They're speechless because you became unrecognizable in the best, most dangerous way possible. Someone's watching your rebirth, realizing they were the fire that forced you to rise. They don't know what hurts more, losing you or watching someone else be lucky enough to hold you. Someone's watching you laugh again, wondering when your smile stopped needing them. They thought you'd break without them. Now, watching you glow, they're breaking instead. Someone's watching you dance in your own peace while they drown in their regrets. They see you living the life you once dreamed of together, and they have no words left to fix what they destroyed. Someone's watching, realizing that silence from you is the loudest punishment they'll ever endure. They study your movements like a poem they once failed to understand. Someone's watching the love they lost thrive inside someone else's arms. They're speechless because you became everything you promised yourself you'd be without needing them. Someone's watching your eyes glow again, and it hurts because they remember being the reason they once dimmed. They thought walking away gave them power, but now they see you're the one who won in silence. Someone's watching your freedom like it's a movie they wish they starred in. They're silent because no apology could ever match what you went through alone. Someone's watching the storm calm inside you, realizing they were the thunder that once terrified your peace. They want to reach out, but they know they no longer deserve front row seats to your evolution. Someone's watching your confidence grow, and it's reminding them how small they once made you feel. They're speechless because your silence is screaming everything they tried to ignore. Someone's watching your smile bloom again, and it's both beautiful and unbearable for them to see. They used to control the narrative. Now they're the ghost in your story, watching you thrive without them. Someone's watching you move with peace, realizing too late that they were the chaos you escaped from. They thought they were unforgettable until you walked past their memory like it never burned you. Someone's watching your courage grow quietly, realizing they underestimated the soul they tried to break. They're speechless because your happiness no longer includes their name. Someone's watching you bloom again, wondering how a person they once broke could rise more beautiful than ever. They watch quietly, haunted by the realization that you no longer need to be seen to shine. Someone's watching your peace, feeling the chaos of their own choices echo in the silence between you. They can't stop thinking about how you became their unfinished poem. Every line they failed to write still whispers your name. Someone's watching you glow, and it's reminding them that they were once the shadow that dimmed you. They used to love your softness. Now they fear your strength. Someone's watching, frozen in regret, realizing too late that your absence is louder than your presence ever was. They can't explain why their heart aches whenever your name crosses their mind. Even after all this time, someone's watching the person you've become, realizing that their loss was the price of your transformation. They stare at your photos like they're sacred, knowing they can never return to the world that once held you. Someone's watching you move through life gracefully, while their guilt drags them through memories they can't escape. They thought they'd erased you, but now your silence haunts their every thought like a living ghost. Someone's watching you smile, wondering who gave you the peace they never could. They're speechless because you've become everything they secretly prayed for, just not for them. Someone's watching your calm, remembering the chaos they brought and how you carried it like art. They still replay the moment they let you go, realizing it was the day they lost their future. Someone's watching you from afar, wishing for one more chance to prove they've changed. They see your peace and it crushes them because they finally understand what it cost you to get there. Someone's watching you breathe freely now, realizing they were the weight you had to release. They don't speak because they know you'd hear the guilt in every word they try to form. Someone's watching you live without hesitation, realizing they once made you afraid of your own wings. They can't find words because every apology feels too small compared to what they took from you. Someone's watching the strength in your silence and realizing it's stronger than their loudest love ever was. They see how the universe favored you after they left, and it's a kind of justice they can't escape. Someone's watching your new beginning, realizing they became the ending that pushed you there. They don't know if they miss you or the version of themselves that felt worthy when you were near. Someone's watching the peace you wear like armor, remembering how they once caused every wound it protects. They're speechless because your silence is teaching them what love should have sounded like. Someone's watching you glow in another's arms, realizing too late that loyalty is the rarest kind of love. They can't speak because your presence still holds the power to silence their pride. Someone's watching your joy, realizing it's no longer a reflection of them. They thought walking away gave them peace. Now they know it gave them nothing but sleepless nights. Someone's watching you laugh like you never broke, wondering how you turned pain into poetry. They're silent because the universe has already spoken on your behalf. Through your healing, someone's watching your strength unfold, realizing they were the reason you had to become unbreakable. They study your eyes from afar, searching for traces of the person who once loved them, but that gaze has changed. Someone's watching the love they lost bloom in someone else's care, and it's the most painful silence of all. They can't look away because your growth reminds them of what they could have grown into with you. Someone's watching your peace and realizing it's what they prayed for, just not for themselves. They're speechless because they finally understand. Love wasn't supposed to break you, it was supposed to build both of you. Someone's watching your every move, wondering if fate will ever forgive them for letting you go. They thought you'd fade, but now your presence lingers like light in every corner of their thoughts. Someone's watching your happiness from the shadows, knowing they traded it for their pride. They see your calm, and it terrifies them because they realize you healed without needing them to. Someone's watching you rise like morning light, realizing they'll never touch dawn again. They can't speak because how do you apologize to someone who no longer looks back? Someone's watching your confidence bloom, realizing it's built from the ruins they left behind. They're silent because even their love now sounds like noise compared to your peace. Someone's watching your smile, remembering when it used to begin with their name. They thought they broke you. Now they realize they built the version of you the world needed.